Hello there, you fine folks. You ever get the feeling that your life is like a practical joke being played on you? I get that feeling sometimes. So, I had that feeling like last week. I have this thing scheduled for called a three-phase bone scan. And due to transportation issues, I would have had to stay in the hospital for 6 or 7 hours. And they inject the radioactive isotope into your bloodstream, and then you have to wait 3 or 4 hours until it's circulating through you. Then I don't know what the other parts of the bone scan is. That part kind of stuck in my head. Radioactive isotope. It's kind of a phrase that gets your attention. So, anyways, I got this problem with my leg, and so I'm like, okay, I'll roll with that because my regular MD doesn't seem like he wants to be my doctor anymore, and they're kind of pawning me off on pain management. The guy at pain management at least seems interested in my case and doesn't like say that I'm on the wrong drugs and stuff and get the drugs mixed up, like asking me how I'm doing with my Ativan when I'm taking alprazolam. But anyways, so the pain management guy wants to test, so I'm like, okay, I've had other tests. I never had that before, but I had other tests before. So I'm like, okay, I'll psych myself up and do this. I was like, if I have to take Xanax and get bombed and sit there and pretend to read a uh, paperback, because I'm not one of you modern folks that has a phone they can play on and internet. I'm old. I realize old people keep up with the technology and stuff like that, but I just frankly don't give a fuck about that kind of stuff. So anyways, I'm psyched up to do this test. I have a little bit of trouble sleeping the night before. I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Or no, I have to leave the house at 6 o'clock in the morning, which means I have to get up at least 4 to, just because I'm me. And anyway, so I got my alarm set and everything. I have trouble going to sleep. I go to sleep. 12:24 a.m. Water starts pouring through my ceiling so hard that it wakes me up out of the sleep. So I'm like, of course, alarmed. Like, what the fuck? Why is there a thunderstorm inside my house? And once you're woke up like that and you got a situation like that, you have to like wait for it to stop dripping to see if it's a pipe. Because if it's a burst pipe, it's like, it's 911 type emergency. But if it's some other kind of issue, like somebody overflowing a sink or a bathtub, then it'll stop dripping. And then you don't have any problems. Except for a big freaking mess. So anyways, this is so messed up. So I'm like just sitting there, all this water is just poured in me, not thinking, or I think I've had a lot of irresponsible people living over top of me, but I have responsible people living over top of me now. So I'm like, oh, the days of me being rained on inside my house are over. Because it's a digression. I had one person that lived up there that just let their toilet run. Or no, they had like a drip on their toilet and it was behind the toilet and they just let it drip, There's this thing called gravity where if you're below a dripping toilet, eventually it's going to do damage. So one night, like, I don't know, 3 years ago, I get woke out of a sleep because I got a hanging ceiling and a big piece of it just falls in. Kabang! I wake up, and scared and stuff. But anyways, that was the irresponsible person that just let something drip and didn't tell the landlord about it to fix it and screwed me over. So, but these people were responsible people. So I got a little bit cocky and I put my dirty clothes hamper, which was open, which my dirty clothes hamper is just a gigantic cardboard box. It had bedspreads in it. It had sheets. It just had a bunch of old funky clothes, like any dirty clothes hampers, but it had, well, the point of me saying that is like it had big things like heavy bedspreads and cotton sheeting and stuff like that. It had large things in it. So all this water comes down, boom, into my dirty clothes hamper. So I have had no sleep. I'm already going to go do something that I haven't had done before. I don't like the idea of being injected with anything that contains the phrase radioactive. I'm not really comfortable with as far as ingesting or getting put into my body. So, I don't feel particularly good anyway. Now I've had no sleep and I've got this plumbing emergency. So I'm like, yeah, I'm canceling that thing. So I cancel. I'm all psyched up and, not worrying about it necessarily, but preparing myself for it mentally the whole week. And then you heard that expression, hey man, you broke the toilet. What the hell's wrong with you? Meaning that somebody clogged the toilet. Okay, this guy upstairs, he literally broke the toilet. He clogged the toilet up so bad that when he plunged it, he blew the seal out on it. And that's what was coming through my ceiling. It's fucking toilet water into my dirty clothes hamper. Now, as a poor person, I don't have any laundry facilities inside this place. I got all these stinky, musty clothes. Now, this doesn't smell like shit. It don't smell good, but the shit apparently got filtered by the ceiling. But it's still nasty toilet water, which I don't even know yet. So I'm like, man, what the hell am I going to do with all these clothes? And, I don't have a whole lot of people I can ask to do things that I feel comfortable asking to do things for me. Just because the people that I know are highly dysfunctional and or crazy. So I'm like, okay, I got to take all these clothes out of this dirty clothes box and hang them up somewhere in my apartment and let them air dry. And I got a couple of fans. Maybe I can blow fans on them, right? So I do that. I'm hanging up. I got like a treadmill. I'm hanging up toilet water bedspread over the treadmill. I'm hanging up toilet water sheets in the bathroom over the curtain rod for the shower. I'm hanging just filthy fucking shit water all over my house without knowing that's filthy fucking shit water. So, I was like, oh man, I didn't know it was up yet because, who the hell knows? Water comes through your ceiling. I don't know what the hell's going on. So I'm like, oh, it was the 22nd. It was last Friday. I'm like, man, I can't. This place is just reeks, And then a couple of days later, I made a joke. I was like, man, you wouldn't have believed it, man. My apartment smelled like a camel's asshole. I did not know how factually accurate that was until the plumbers came the next day and explained what happened, because I didn't know what happened. I thought they were I actually thought they were overflowing in the shower, or that somebody was in. They were just they had a leak in the shower or something. I didn't know it was toilet water. So yeah, so that was fun. That was a fun weekend for me. I was but yeah, it's ridiculous that happened right when I'm ready to go to my bone scan appointment that I've been dreading for a couple of weeks. It happens like literally less than 6 hours before I have to leave the house and go do that and go be in a hospital for 6 or 7 hours. So anyways, yeah, the guy actually broke the toilet. I've always heard that expression, like, man, you come over to my house and you broke my toilet, man. What do you mean? That means that they clogged up the toilet. The toilet's broke. The toilet won't flush. This guy actually broke the toilet. He busted the seal inside the toilet by plunging it. So he gave a new verity and force to that expression than ever before. But yeah, there's other craziness going on in the building besides that. Like, cops have been coming here constantly chasing these people down. They're just trying to find these people. And, me, I was bored that day, so I heard them talking to people. I heard a couple cops in there talking to people. So I go out in the hallway. I start talking to them, and, that one of them's got to break bad with me. How they treat us people of color. And he's like, what's your name? You said you're looking for Scott. My name's not Scott. That's all you need to know, man. What's my name? You're looking for some guy named Scott. You know what he looks like. This guy just wants to exert authority over me, just because of my ethnic nature. So anyways, so that they just left that place open. Literally just, they hit the cops. The heat was coming down on them so hard. They were selling drugs or something. That they just left, but they left the apartment open. So the next time the cops came, they just walked around the place like, anybody here? Looking around, and I talked to my neighbor, and the neighbor said, oh, the cop said that the place was trashed, or just meant that it was filthy. and got an itch. So, anyways, uh, people been showing up here bringing stuff into the apartment. The landlord told me he can't get a hold of the guy whose name's actually on the lease. So now I got squatters up there. Guy comes in the building yesterday when they're carrying shit in, because there ain't been nobody in the place for 3 days, man. There's been detectives, there's been police, just like every other day, man, just stopping by trying to find whoever it is they're looking for. And so these people show up and they start bringing stuff into the building. I thought they had cleared out, and as the old expression goes from the Gunsmoke days, got the fuck out of Dodge. Like, but no, these people apparently, they maybe got the word from the Scott guy or whatever that there's a free place you can crash for a while. So I'm watching stuff being transported into the apartment when I'm thinking, and the landlord's thinking that the place is empty. This guy, a big dude, comes in there and he's holding a towel on his mouth and he got like a busted lip, and they all shady as hell looking. Two of the people I never saw before. I saw the woman that was coming in there before, and one of them's carrying a guitar, and I'm like, oh, they're bringing the guitar, man. That must mean they're gonna stay. And and then I was thinking, man, there's a wood pile. Why would they have a wood pile? I'm like, your mind starts working, and you're like, why would they need a wood pile in a place with gas heat? What is the purpose of the wood pile? So I'm trying to. I was like, I was going to call the police yesterday because they've been looking and stopping by. I've seen more cops than residents in this place. So I was like, man, maybe I should call the police on them and let the police catch them if these are the people. If they don't catch them, they'll at least run them the hell out of here if they're squatters or whatever. So yeah, more craziness. I mean, you never get a break. It never stops. And when I went to pain management, they told me I got some kind of blah 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 fancy word cyst behind my knee. That's not a big deal, but if it's fine like it is, but if it gets bigger they might have to cut it out. And they said I got a tear in my muscle, but it could be something else in my calf. And I got like the injury to my calf muscle, but basically nothing is going to be done about my leg for like ever, for like months. So I'm gonna have to just live with that. I'm trying to stay off of it, and I have a pretty good idea how my leg got busted up. Is like I said, I'm a guy that's really independent and don't have a lot of people that they would be willing to allow themselves to be dependent on. I'm the kind of guy that would hang toilet water clothes up in his apartment rather than ask somebody that's got laundry facilities, man, help me wash all these funky clothes. A bunch of water come out the ceiling. That's my unfortunate existence. Not that I'm complaining about it and all, but that was a funky smell. Let me tell you, all them clothes hanging around, that wasn't like one of them little Christmas tree things that you hang from your mirror in your car. It didn't smell like that. So anyways, the thing with my leg is like what caused that is me being independent to extremes. Is like I ride an electric bike to get my groceries and to get around and stuff because I'm all crippled up and stuff, and my not being able to feel my feet right and all that, my feet would slip off the pedal, and then the pedal would come around and back, like whack me in the calf muscle. And pedals don't get shorter or longer, so it just kept whacking me in the calf muscle in the same place. Now I don't have the same sensation as a normal person. I talked to somebody that had a pretty good pain tolerance and described it to him, and he was like, oh man, that hurts, man. I had that happen before. And I'm like, yeah, that happened to me like 4 or 5 times a trip sometimes when I go to get groceries on my bike, or just go to take care of business and go to the drugstore or whatever on my little electric bicycle. And so that independent streak and just not trusting, having trustworthy people or just not trusting them. I'll just say I don't trust them. Speak out of the I, they told us in therapy. I don't trust them. So anyways, just being like that busted up my leg. They don't know. They're talking about maybe ligament damage and stuff like that. So I got like maybe at least 2 things wrong with my leg, maybe a third thing. So it's always fun when you're trying to withdraw off of one of the most difficult physical dependencies to withdraw from, to have all these fun things just thrown at you left and right. All these fun challenges. I guess I got the buckets over here in the corner. I guess I should move the buckets, and I got a waste can. The phone's ringing in the background, but hell, can't hear it this time. I got a different phone. But anyways, I just leave them up, I guess. But they got toilet water in them. So today I got to put bleach in the water and dump the water out and put them back up to see, to make sure that make sure that they've solved the problem with the toilet. No more toilet water. No more. No one likes to wake to the beautiful dulcet tones of toilet water pouring through the ceiling. So yeah, you get all these extra like nonsense, and I'm just keeping people's names and keeping events out of things. I have other nonsense going on where people are like trying to take advantage of my generosity and crap like that I just won't go into, just because I don't like to name names that I'll talk about myself till you're sick of hearing about me. But as far as like bringing other people into it, as far as them scumbags like those guys that are probably squatting here right now, I don't mind smearing them. But anyways, as far as my chemical dependency thing on Xanax / alprazolam, I've been easing it up a bit with Valium. So we have a 35-hour spread, a 31-hour and 30-minute spread between doses, a 32-hour spread between doses, then 19 hours, 23 hours, 37 hours, and then the day of the catastrophe, I tried to take a pill to go back to sleep so I could go get my bone scan. So that's kind of like a Mulligan day. So that says 9.5 hours. Because it says I took a pill around 5. So like I took a pill around 3 a.m. After the stuff come through the ceiling, like trying to get some sleep so I could go through with my appointment. But then I did the day that I did the 52-hour video. I ended up going 58 hours and 30 minutes between doses, then 42 hours and 30 minutes, and 34 hours and 56 hours and 30 minutes, and 34 hours and 30 minutes, and 38 hours and 30 minutes, which is a big improvement. I think on the same sheet of paper here, I was in the 20s and the teens as far as spreading the doses out. And so yeah, I'm not really feeling like today I'm having a relapse. Today I feel like it's a relapse type of day. It's like I haven't had any Xanax for approximately 27 hours right now, but I just don't feel good. I feel like I did like a month ago. I guess that happens where you get a day where it's like a flashback or type of thing or whatever. But I was feeling like not any withdrawal symptoms for before I would get to around 24 hours. Now, granted that I'm taking small doses of Valium, 2.5 and 5 milligram doses of Valium, which, like I've said before, that works for some people as far as a substitute for Xanax. It doesn't work for me, man. It takes the edge off of it. That's it. And it's like it helps me spread out the doses because it raises my tolerance. My overall plan here is to see. I got a guy who will switch me from Xanax to Valium, my psychiatrist, but he wants to do it. He won't let me have both. But Valium is no substitute for Xanax for me. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping both around, and I'm slowly switching from one to the other. And that's following the Ashton manual, which is what my psychiatrist follows as far as like switching people. Now that might not be the way the Ashton manual might actually say stop taking the Xanax, take the Valium, but this is the way I'm doing it, just because I reach a certain point, Valium or no Valium, where I get weird, I get very odd. My brain just stops like working. It's very alarming. My heart's been pretty good like I was having a lot of trouble before I got the volume. When I would reach, like I made a video about that, when I would reach like the 18, 20 hour mark, I'd start to have arrhythmia and stuff, you know. And right now, like I don't want to take, I don't, you know, even though I feel like bad today, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna take any Xanax at all, just because I hate the stuff that much, and it's not gonna make me feel better, and it's not an addiction; it's a physical dependence, and I know it's not gonna make me feel any better. It might put me to sleep for about an hour, and it might, I don't know, but that's about all it's gonna do for me, and it's not gonna make me feel any better. Now, when I reach like the high 30s, 40s, and 50s, and I feel like this, then I take it, because it's where I'm at right now. You know, where I'm at right now is like like I read you the spread, like the 35 to I'm between 35. I can go between 35 and 58 hours without taking any, and this is 3.5 months since I started the tapering process. So I'm just having a crummy day today, and yeah, my last spread was 38 and a half hours. So, you know, like let's say that's the 26th, 3 weeks ago. My spread, I have like 3 weeks ago, 15 hours. So the volume helps a great deal in that regard. And unfortunately, it's not all that easy to find. So, you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't really, that's 22 minutes. I really can't really, like I said, I'm not doing well, and I feel like this is a relapse day, and I can't really think of anything else to talk about. I mean, um, my leg is not a good thing, but I'm not going to get too stressed about it. You know, it's just like a sports injury. It's just really painful, and it impairs my mobility, and that's my good leg. My other leg's not very good, not good for much. So, um, you know, I'm not going to stress myself out about that too much. And it's, you know, just getting whacked. It's like just getting whacked with the metal rod and the bicycle pedal in the same place over and over again. It just tore up the muscle. And I've been trying to stay off of it, which makes me half crazy. And that's why I took up playing the guitar again, which I haven't even felt like doing that today. I just feel awful today, very like tense, and it's just too much sitting around. It's just not good for a body, you know. You need, even somebody of my advanced years, you need physical activity. You know, you need human interaction, all that stuff. People have needs, and my needs ain't being met. So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have a day like this where I just feel all pent up and miserable inside, and edgy, and basically like what I felt like like a month ago when I'm going through the withdrawal. I'm still very fresh in my mind watching uh, director's cut of Alien, the 1979 movie, and lifting weights, and like seeing spots while I was doing it. And I was only lifting weights because I was like, I can't take this anymore. And I'm lifting weights with a bad leg, but I'm thinking that's, I kind of like laid off the lifting weights, and I'm just trying to, because you have to use your legs some for that. So I'm just trying to get that leg to heal. I'm just fishing around people, trying to think of something interesting to talk about, and I think that the creek is fishless. I don't think there's anything there. So I might as well get off here. Oh yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay away from my guy who prescribes the alprazolam, and just get just get scripts off of him for it. I'm just gonna avoid him. I don't have to see him until September, and I think the pain management people are gonna deal with the legs. So I'm doing really good. So I got I got a good stockpile now, and I'm just gonna keep stockpiling. You say why? If you want to quit taking something, would you have it around? It's a long life, and I got a lot of physical problems. And listen, that Xanax stuff, it's not something you can take every day. It's not something you can take every other day. But if I have to go in for a bone scan, why not make myself comfortable? If I have to go in to get a tooth pulled or something, why not make myself comfortable? Now, if you start taking it because, oh, today I have to talk to my sister, if you start taking it for small things, then then you might have a problem. But if you're taking it here and there, I'm like, and I don't, I don't want to take it now, and I'm still withdrawing from it. I don't have no desire to take it. I don't like it. Don't like it. Don't want it. I want to say don't need it, but at some point it's going to be don't need it too. But there's going to be times when I'm going to have to go through some kind of difficult medical procedure or go through something difficult, and it wipes out the anxiety before you have to get that tooth pulled, or before you have to get that painful test, or before you have to get injected with a radioactive whatever that word is that I'm trying to say, or something like that. So, you know, so I don't see any problem with having a few bottles laying around, as long as nobody else knows it, and besides the 75 people that are going to watch this video, they're not going to track me down and come in my house and steal my stash of pills. Are you? Are you going to do that? Are you really going to do that? I have a very large guard dog. Yeah, I don't really have I have a raccoon named Thaddeus. That's what I named the raccoon that got slapped in the face by the cat the other day. I call him Thaddeus. It seems like a good name for a raccoon. I like it. I was feeding him some dog food this morning. I got some dog food. They're very expensive to keep, these raccoons, because they have very healthy appetites. And I cannot afford to feed him cat food, because he can eat the equivalent of what 4 cats can eat. Because they eat. So I got some dog food off somebody. I'll feed him that, and I'm going to get him some cans of corn, because raccoons, they love corn. So I got me a pet raccoon named Thaddeus. I think at some point I could probably sit out there in a chair and throw food to him. Now, if he starts wanting to jump on my lap and shit, I don't know if that'll fly, because that's not a tameable animal. That is a wild animal, and that is a dangerous animal. They're cute, they're neat, and they're intelligent, but they can hold their own against a 60 or 70 pound dog, and they're nothing but claws and teeth. But and they're just wild. They're wild creatures. They're real high energy type animals too. They're wired all the time. They're hyperactive. So, yeah. But yeah, I keep feeding him and see how big I can grow him. I can't think of nothing else to talk about. My throat kind of hurts, but I thought I would check in. And, don't feel like doing much else today. And I'm just having like a relapse day. Relapse day or no, I'm still like 27 hours between quarter milligram doses. So, like on the positive side, 27 hours a month ago, I'll be white knuckling it. So that's a good thing. Alrighty. I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Goodbye.